Welcome to Fields of Ices, which is of course everyone's favorite map, especially for a larger team game. We've got on the eastern side everyone starting in the middle, pretty much. Only a couple of players who don't start in the actual middle. But on the other side we've got a bit of a more spread out base. Yellow getting 2 commanders because of the uneven teams. Das Capital going rovers, and hovercraft already rushing out a dominatrix, which I do find interesting, and as you can also see them do, there's a lot of reclaim on this map. Just to check out how much there is, well, a total of over 4,000 metal, and that's while people are already reclaiming. That is what you may call insane. That's a lot of reclaim. So it's a small map. So it's going to be a very bunched up map where everything is going to be all dense and all that, and likely going to result in a lot of pork, which will make this a long match most likely. But for now people will just scout around with their swifts and all that. See, the enemy is already building geothermals. You are not doing that yet. You should be capping the maxes. They should be capping the maxes, and they're doing that. But for now, there is a slight lead for Team West, since they've got those maxes mostly, except for this one. But they still need those two. This one was capped, those two weren't. Both. So yeah, slight advantage there for Team West. But hey, it doesn't matter all that much yet. Yet being a key word there, of course. On the northern side, Das Capital already with the dominatrix out, but it hasn't really done anything yet. We did see purple plopping tanks on the eastern side, and of course dominatrix is a very good counter to tanks. It's also a unit that's very nice against commanders, and since the map is so small, and you've got quite a lot of players, there are likely going to be multiple commanders forwards. We can already see one here from Electric Boogaloo. On the southern side, same thing, with Orange's commander forward, Texas commander forward. B-Bar is trying the same thing as Das Capital is trying up north. Both of them, of course, with the dominatrix. And another commander forwards. So yeah, that's the thing about a map like this. Especially early on, your commander is going to be quite strong and cover a good amount of area. So having the commander forwards makes sense. Also able to reclaim, of course, if you want to, and sneakily get all of those maxes or rocks reclaimed. But down south, very nice push is going for Team West. Don't try to chase. Yeah, sure. Makes a lot of sense, most likely. Couldn't really read it all that easily. Anyways, 4 size, soon to be 5 coming in. What do they have to defend against size? Well, they've got their commander. And that's about it. Very nice stun there with the Thunderbird. It is not even going down. And with that commander being stunned, or like disarmed for the next 10 seconds, it surely will go down. There it goes already. One side survived, but it didn't for long. Commander down. Good fight there for Team East. But more importantly than just having it be a good fight, that commander is 4 eco. 4 metal per second that you just took away from the enemy team. Because the map is relatively small and there aren't that many maxes, especially not for the number of players you have. Just one silly little commander is a quite large amount of your economy. Quite a good amount, indeed it is. Still, commander over here for Katze is still not in a very safe location either. No defenses around it. Recluse numbers way less than the enemy has. And over here is trying to capture an assault. Generally not the easiest thing to do for your dominatrix. Almost died in the process, but it just barely survives and will be healed up. Up north, Grizzly is already out. Might be a nice target for the dominatrix, although you do get outranged. So you would need to have a couple more or be very sneaky in order to just not get one shot by the Grizzly. Since that would likely be the outcome. Cyclops, same thing pretty much. Also outranging dominatrix, so even though tanks is countered by dominatrix, the most expensive one, the Cyclops, is not. Helmets for an assault don't have a lot of HP, but still, they can shrug off those little phoenix without any issues. And if they do, in combination with those fleas, go over the wall, well, there is a single Lotus waiting for you. And that's about it, otherwise they wouldn't need to take back that ogre. You have a couple of Scorchers, but long range Scorcher doesn't really do enough damage to take care of Hermits, and when you're close up, the Hermits don't miss anymore, even though their shots are of course very slow. Important to note, over here on the western side, geothermal is already being upgraded. Whereas on the other side, well, this one is still generating power, this one is as well. Meaning that they will, relatively soon, like 50% done? Yeah, 48%. Relatively soon, they will have quite a lot more energy to overdrive with. And even with the 25 energy offline currently, they're still completely dead even in energy. 187 versus 187. I don't even know how they managed to do it that well. Being so close in eco, I'm very surprised about that. It's not as if people have a build order for this map now, do they? I hope not. But yeah, with that geothermal soon being up, they will get a lot more overdrive going. And they've also got their forward maxes overdriven better than the enemy has. Which will likely, well, matter a lot more in the future. For now it's not a big deal yet, but still, 13 overdrive versus 18 or 19 is not something you can ignore for long. Fleas are going to have a bit of an issue running into, well, some very good counters to them, especially Firewalker. But Commander as well with that weapon, not bad against them, shoots relatively quickly. Couple more fleas will be taking down the radar. Sure, that's nice and all that, but probably can't do a whole lot else. Firewalkers just manually fire on the hill there and just be done with it. Also, you are also not in a great position, Felon. Saturation Artillery Walker, and they've also got, although I don't see them right now, a couple of badges. Not many badges, but of course mine-laying machines, so yeah, also are quite good at uncovering phantoms. For now they will stay alive, and as long as they do, they can get some good attrition going, but I do fear for their lives, I really do. Then south, well, Team East has definitely been able to stabilize, and has now got a good number of recluse going. Got some good commander leveling up going as well. Reclaiming quite a lot. And they say Caretaker, that is definitely something they could have used. They've got one Caretaker, but that doesn't heal your Cyclops up all that quickly. But for now, Team East not really able to push in there to push the Cyclops itself. You've got like one redback for DPS and that's about it. Would be nice to just have that teammate send all of those Hermits down south. Individually they don't have a lot of DPS, like 54 DPS. But still, how many do they have? Like 20 of them. So that's 1000 DPS. Couple of fleas managing to sneak through. And even though Dagger doesn't have a lot of DPS and Swifts don't either, yep, they get cleaned up anyways. Radar wobble being a very big issue here for the Impalers, it seems. Stationary targets, and yet they don't hit. Bombers, couple of Ravens, do manage to take down. No? You're not going home? Okay, sure then. Yeah, do manage to snipe that Firewalker there. And I think they only spent like 2 Ravens for that, so of course that's a good trade. The only thing is that, well, the reclaim is for the enemy, at least you would assume so. With that commander being there, 51 build power. Could have been the ultimate blue bulkhead printer, but it won't. It won't print any bulkheads. And by now, Team East pushing on the northern side. Down south, Team West has stabilized. Has got quite a couple of rippers there as well. So should be able to deal with, well, enemy raiders if they do come in. But they won't. Not for now at least. Commander seemingly going down. Yep, that 51 build power. No, that's this one. Okay. Probably a bit of a cheaper commander then. I would hope so. Going down. Double Grizzly do have to retreat because, yeah, these are a lot more healthy. But this is very, very scary. As I said before, don't have a lot of DPS individually, but 8 of them are still quite good. Commander, it's just a 144 DPS weapon, I believe you have. 144 build range. No, come on. Yeah, 144 DPS as well. So that is an factory goodbye. As long as they do focus on it. Okay, seems like they do. And second factory, will that also disappear? I don't think that's going to happen. With the Ripper being here, the commander as well. But still, soaking a lot of damage, it just might. I don't think so, but it might. By now, Team East definitely do look good. Triple Grizzly up north. Even though, yeah, I expect Phantoms to die quite easily. It's still a lot of damage. 4,500 burst damage in just those. And that middle section with all of those, well, arguably less than an optimal HP hermits. Still, they've got quite a couple of them. Have been doing a very good job. Team West at 80%. Attrition only. Fleas here are seemingly a bit wasted, I'd say. Especially with the Scorchers there. Scorchers, Commander. We're almost able to snipe the MS3, but I just don't. And almost is just not good enough. Impaler, actually kind of nice against Emissary, because Emissary is a semi-stop-the-fire. So as long as the Impaler, well, the Emissary doesn't get microed, the Impalers will take him down. And they're sending a lot of metal, 2 logics, 0s and 10 whole metals. This though could be very interesting. Will they be able to sneak around and get the geothermal? You know, it seems like they can. One for Geo kill, one for Geo and kill Dante. Yeah, because the Dante they have been producing for quite a while by now. But it should also go down, because there is a single glaive to defend. However, you do need a bit of a micro in order to actually take everything down. Seems like you will though. Geothermal is not gone. Ping, 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 it does go down. It was very close. It was too close, I would say. But both the Dante and the geothermal do go down. Factory just barely doesn't. Strider Hub also just barely doesn't. But if you're just able to sneak like 2 fleas through there, both would still die. That's how little HP they've got left. But hey, your fleas are busy up north. In a bit of a ball though, so do get picked off by the daggers quite easily. Still, we'll be sniping a caretaker. Factory, it's still pretty healthy, but not very healthy. And as long as those daggers focus on the hermits, the DPS on Flea, 51. Great DPS on those, especially for the cost. And the factory is gone. Up north, Team East is pushing. Western side, geothermal expensive to go down. Dante was like almost done. So also expensive to lose that nanoframe. Yeah, doesn't look very good for Team West by now. Eco, 130 versus 85. We were like, oh well, yeah, with the geothermals upgrading and all that. Especially when both of them were. They've got good overdrive. Yeah, they had good overdrive. By now, Team East has pretty much caught up there. Not quite, still a little bit less energy and all that. Maxes down south haven't been linked up yet. But it's still a lot closer than it would have been, with that geothermal still being up. Over here, a couple of Scorchers managing to sneak through. Meaning that, well, Metal Extractor could go down. Impalers could go down. Lance could just Team Sniper or something. What are you stunning? Who is stunning? Was that you? No, it wasn't. Huh, not sure. Anyways, Scorcher, single one is still alive. They didn't really accomplish all that much. But hey, 14 Hermit moving in. Is this not just enough to finish the game? With like 14,000 value down up north. Over here, 3 fleas that are attacking a Lucifer that's being hurled up by like 20 different things. That doesn't really work. But still, that push up north, I would say, is amazing. Just alpha damage? 10,000 alpha damage. Lobster, I don't really see it doing a whole lot. Lance getting sniped by the phantoms. But they say snitches. Snitches could do something. One snitch not able to take care of one hermit. Just barely, but it can't. Does manage to sneak through and do a lot of damage. Since they're all on retreat, 66% HP retreat. Yet they're going back. Probably a good thing. No, maybe not, because Snitch is not all-terrain, is it? It's bot movement, so yeah, indeed. Hermits would have been able to sneak on over, whereas the Snitch wasn't able to. Wouldn't have been able to. And fleas now are there for the cleanup. Still a lot of them moving through. Is that enough to take care of Lotus? Lotus, Commander? No, not really. In which case, yeah. Lico would be a very good target. 1800 value. But it's not going to go down. Faraday stunning all of the fleas. You don't even manage to snipe a single metal extractor. In other words, it's a metal donation. And over here, in the north, yeah, Team East has been pushed back. 4,000 reclaim for Team West. Attrition somehow stabilizing. Almost 100%. Cyclops trying to clear the minefield, which doesn't really work well if you just keep shooting the same location. But hey, they might be expecting a couple of scythes to stand there. I don't really know. But yeah, up north, level 8 commander, 50 plus build power, so can do a lot of reclaiming there. Das Fapitals commander can do a lot of reclaiming. And your army isn't completely gone. Still not great army. I mean, you've got 2 Grizzlies versus 5, although one of them is heavily damaged. They've got good bulkhead numbers, you don't have any. They've got a couple of Hermits still alive, you don't have any. You've only got a little bit of artillery, like 4 or 5 moderators. So not great. 4 Grizzlies, only 6,000 burst, so not able to snipe a single Grizzly, especially not because it's under the shield. And Lico, well, we just saw it. It was up, almost up, 1800 invested by then. It goes down. Is that a good trade? A decent trade, but like, it's not really what you want with a Lico. And bruh, why are these mines not... Okay, I was about to say, why are these mines not in fact cloaked, but they are. Okay, good. I guess it just took a bit longer to re-cloak than I thought it would. Geothermal over here still not being upgraded by Tarkin, but the other one is. Still, Overdrive, once again, is better for Team West. Not upgrading this one. And of course we did see one Singularity going up on the eastern side already. So the Overdrive should be better for them in the future. But yeah, multiple fusions on the other side, so they are for now ahead in their Overdrive. Well, energy, not Overdrive technically. But oh well. Cornea, where are you? Oh, there you are. Yeah. Not really be able to do a whole lot. Just a little bit of artillery, yeah, which... So, yeah. They are now going to move through. Kadachis doing a pretty good job and then covering some of the mines. Soaking a couple others. Level 6 engineer. Doesn't really have the best weapon to deal with raiders. I mean, it's the sniper, it seems at least. The phantom weapon. And yeah, Cyclops, moving forward, all of its support, or like almost all of its support, has gone down by now. Merlin does good damage, not DPS, but it has damage. And this is Trollcom is bad. Why Trollcom is bad? Yep, it does. To a single Cyclops. With a little bit of support. Anyways, a couple of fleas are now coming out, but you don't really have flea numbers yet. Right, you've got like 100 value, like 200 value in fleas. Not exactly enough. So for now, Cyclops will hold the line. Still, 4 Scorchers coming in. Is that enough to clean up that Cyclops? It might be, depending on how it's used and how many the Merlin manages to kill. Merlin, you killed some of your own Scorchers there, not great. Meaning that, yep, 2500 HP, Cyclops going back, heal up, and it will be ready to go once more. Waste? Well, I guess so. You do still have like 100 reclaim, so it's not that big a waste, since they spent 600 to kill it. But yeah, I mean, it's not great. And legit target, yeah, because Missile Silo is a very good target. Not only is it able to hurt you a whole bunch, it's also 1200 metal invested on its own. All of the reclaim up north is gone. Down south, still 2.2k reclaim. A lot of that in the engineer commander, of course. That will be reclaimed by Team East. One lone felon. That will soon be cleaned up. Goodbye. Merlin, not really able to damage a whole lot here yet. Just a couple. Too many shields. 5 shields here. So yeah, 7,000 shield left. Second volley from the Merlin could have pierced it. But it's just going back. Why are you going back? I don't know. But this is the issue with Field of Isis. You've got 2 tiny choke points. And that's about it. Small map. Porking down south. I'm a little surprised how little pork we've seen up north. But yeah. HP over here. Health. 43,000 health. That's the thing about Field of Isis. Because it's so small, tactical nukes and all that, they reach very far into the enemy base. You've got a lot of assaults on the field. You've got a lot of pork normally on the field. Which drags the game on quite a lot. At least, it has the tendency to do so. Wow! You stunned a lot of conch. But yeah, with this commander over here, a lot of the burst damage from the enemy grizzlies will be wasted. Whereas yours are like at least able to damage the enemy. Nice there with that EOS. 1400 killed. You could have lobbed out indeed. But yeah, you didn't. Flea, oh, just barely not able to kill the Phantom. 30 HP left. 38 HP. And hey, who do we have here? Odin! Where are you going? I mean, you've got pretty decent HP. Do you bomb the missile silo? No, you don't. Do you bomb the advanced geothermal? No, you don't. That is 600 reclaim. Goodbye. Yeah, just bombing the missile silo would have killed it and would have been a great target for it. Especially with your team already saying like, oh, this is siloable and all that. Something like that. I don't remember the phrasing they used. But yeah, that would have been a great target for your Odin as well. Especially because back then you might have even been able to retreat. Maybe. It's a bit tight, probably. Trying to retreat from that point. But yeah, geothermal was just barely out of reach. And south, one little Scorcher doing a lot of damage. Not really being countered at all. I mean, one little Badger doesn't do a lot of damage. Silo gets cleaned up. Factory does not. Just because, well, Scorcher wasn't really used optimally. At least not for most DPS. And by now, over here, the singularity is indeed up. Meaning 500 plus energy income for them, 400 only for the enemy team, who are slowly constructing a paladin. Paladin, funnel web. So we've got a couple of striders coming in, some of them very close to being completed, like this Merlin. Some will take quite a lot longer, but still. They are building the heavier units. Over here we're still just seeing a couple of Grizzlies being created. And we have that singular Merlin. Nothing else is really coming out. Anti-nuke covering most of the base. Placing this one in the middle would have been a lot nicer, because then you really would have covered everything. Maybe not quite everything, but I think it's very close. Yeah, placing it here, it covers effectively everything. While still staying like, well, pretty safe. And south is AFK. South is AFK. A little bit. Cyclops, full HP, so sending in a couple of Scorches is just going to be more metal wasted. Redback is gone. Scorcher 1 is gone. The Obliteration Cannon, the poof magic trick, he's gone from the Cyclops, is working very effectively. It is doing a great job there. Still a lot of HP on it. Nothing else really over here that would really be able to push in. I mean, that's a bit of a shame, but it is open over here. If you had your own spiders, you would be able to just move them over into the enemy base. Sneak around the back. But yeah, we're not seeing that. But team is definitely a little bit AFK down south. But yeah, why not? Why not? If the enemy isn't actually pushing, not doing anything. OMFG! They're submerging their Grizzlies. Throwing their Grizzlies. What you bombing there? You're not bombing the missile silo now, are you? Because it's not even there. It's slightly further back. Do we have money to rebuild the silo? You know you're in alt chat, right? Haha. Yeah, right. Anyways, who is going to try another spider raid is going to be Team East up north with those hermits. I really want to see just one spider player down south for Team West. I mean, the response they would be able to get is probably not great. They've got all of their factories in the middle. Going around is of course quite slow, especially for spiders, don't get me wrong about that. But even just fleas can just sneak around the side and into it. Into all of this. Geothermal completely undefended. Yeah, not submerged, just barely submerged. No, not even, so yeah, flea would even be able to hit it. Getting into the singularity itself is a little too difficult with the Faradays, stingers there and all that. So yeah, I don't see that happening. Merlin does stay up. Impaler does stay up. Even the Tarantula does stay up. Shields just covering enough there. But still, damaging them a little bit. Knowing they're vulnerable. Seeing them bleed can sometimes be very good. For morale and all that. And spot new silo here. There is no silo there. They've built it in a different location. Or at least building it in a different location. And yellow has also got one down south, which is a lot harder to get to. Because of all of the shields that are already around it. But still, Lucifer the head over there was killed. Was killed off. Funnel web, its shield is not that healthy. And other than that Lucifer, they don't have a lot over here. They've got one Dante, which is kind of scary, of course. It is quite scary, even. But yeah, with the number of units they've been sending in up north, had those been sending down south, they would have been able to overwhelm that Dante. And probably more. Also, why do you have two Corneas over here that are covering almost exactly the same location? Can you give this back to me if you don't need it? the silo. And the other silo, it has been spotted, at least it seems like it. And yeah, silo has been spotted and Dante as well. Dante, less than 10 seconds and it will be up. All of a sudden, I mean, time has flew by, it did indeed. We're already 30 minutes into this match. And yet, there is still a stalemate going. Assaults up north, assaults in the middle, the assaults down south. But it means assaults down south. We can finally see that push happening, maybe. Is it enough though, 13? Not yet, I don't think so. I don't think this is going to be enough. And these are just patrolling. I don't like it, but it's fine, I guess. Still like 1,000 reclaim over there they could be getting. Automating is being sent forward. Minefield has been cleared up. We've only got mines from Team East over here right now. So, I mean, Automating could move forwards. It could. Just make sure that your Scorches and all that are not too close. Are not, in fact, too close. Because then, of course, Automating can move forward. Where does it go, though? Ooh, that is such a shame. Were you spotted? I don't see pings. You might have just barely got away with it. No one pinged it. Don't, dude. We need you. You've got so much to live for. Scorch is now moving in. I don't see the hermits. Where are the hermits? Where is the team coordination? Where is the ultimatum to destroy the Dante? I mean, they tried something finally. And the Lucifer is once again gone. A couple of the Aspis are gone, or like Aegis are gone as well. But the Dante is still alive. The Cyclops is still alive. The Commander, not a cheap Commander either. 3,000 invested. Web, it's all still there. Yeah. And now that they know they're a little bit vulnerable down south, they are probably going to reinforce that a bit better. Yeah, I don't like it. Also, why is there an idle Krow in the back of your base? With second Krow already more than 50% done. I mean, finally you're making some strong units there. Okay. Pyros are, luckily for the ultimatum, not going around. Well, lucky for the ultimatum, they do go around. Paladin. That's the thing though, you can't solo a Paladin. Don't try it. But you do need to watch out and not, well, have your ultimatum get killed off prematurely. In the back, well, that is the best place to attack them, because then, indeed, they've first got to turn around, and you do manage to snipe it. Nicely done, ultimatum. 150 HP, it should go down, even just through a couple of swifts. But still, 10,000 value. Gone. The other two though, Cyclops and Dante, still going, still alive. This one is stunned for 38 seconds though. And I see a couple of EOS coming in. So all of a sudden, it is not alive. Only thing they've got left is Dante and Web. And a couple of raiders. Well, what can those raiders do? They can get killed off by, well, those phantoms. 4 Scorchers can get, well, shot down in an alpha burst. At least, no, 5 of them even. And Newtons are throwing the Scorchers around. Not doing a bad job, I would say. I mean, Scorchers are all gone. Oh, this is a shame though. Look at all of that value in Phantoms. Soon to go down. At least this one is still likely going to go down. This one probably, yeah, that shouldn't. So it's fine, you only lost 2 of them. Puppies? Yeah, 3,000 reclaim. That's a lot. And of course, it is in enemy territory, so using your puppies over here is very nice. Bulkheads have a lot of HP, so they do soak quite a couple of puppy shots. But still, they go down with what is effectively borrowed metal. At least that's how I look at it. They say things, because things got stunned and they get thrown out, which saves you like a couple thousand metal, most likely. Yeah, like 5,000 metal total. With 4 impalers and the Merlin getting thrown out. And Ducks not really able to do a whole lot, but Merlin does get sniped. And Aegis, no, just barely, not going to go down. We've got a map with choke points. Let's firebomb it. Because then at least the squishy units don't get through. Dante though, not a squishy unit at all. 11,000 HP, full HP. Still there. Not that much reclaim over there in the south. So it's not too valuable to hold that location right now. And against Double Krow, you would not be able to hold that location with your Dante on its own. And hey, sneakies! We've got the sneakies, however, looks like someone found the sneakies. Up north, seems like we won't be seeing a whole lot happening. However, will the sneakies be found? That is the question. It's looking a lot like no, the sneakies will not be found. Come on, guys. I'm a little disappointed. Huh. One more Krow. I need one more. Then I'll stop. I can stop anytime I want. I just want one more Krow. 3 Krows. Well, that's a dead location over here. Even Scorpion. It has a lot of stun. Don't get me wrong about that. But it doesn't have like a 48,000 HP stun. So Dante, it's strong. Scorpion, it's strong. But as long as they use the manual weapon a little bit effectively, those Krows should be able to ruin this location. Still, I don't think they used them all that effectively. A lot of the weapons were wasted. 1 Krow is now stunned for a short amount of time. Manual weapons were this time around used on the Dante, which was good. Do you manage to snipe the Krow as well? You should. The Scorpion. Yeah, you should, and you do. Okay, good. Second Krow though will go down. There it goes. And the commander is only 1900 HP left, but it is still alive. Will you, those couple of pyros, be able to snipe it? Yep, you will, because you are not having any opposition from those puppies or anything like that, so indeed you do snipe. Very nicely done. That's already voting to resign. Value killed 21,000, 4,000, losing just 10,000. Reclaim like 12.5, 13,000 reclaim. Someone has decided to go jack launching. Especially on the small map. I don't hate it, I don't. I mean, you've got some very good targets, like fusions, geothermals, and they're not that difficult to hit. Like, if they go for snitch rams, I can be like, yeah, no, sure, that's unlikely to work, especially not with all of those hills. But jacks, pyros, yeah, those can work. Yeah, bit of a bad location for them though. So you need to jump as soon as you can. You do already have it queued, that's nice. At least you'll be able to outrun the Scorpion, mostly or completely. Ulti has been spotted, however you don't have anything to kill the ultimatum with, for now. Gnats are in melee range, so will get killed. Pyros once again Pyros jacks are doing the jumping jacks, but will shortly be cleaned up. So, was it a good raid? Not really. I mean, it killed 1 fusion, but it was with like the first jack. But hey, you're still holding off like 4,000 value. That's just sitting idle. I guess that has some value. Meanwhile, over here, the Trinity, it is up. It's building the nuke. Not up yet. I don't know how far it is. But on the other side, well, 1 anti-nuke will soon-ish be up. How much longer? Yeah, 5 minutes, because soon-ish it's being built by one crane that's at like 50% build power. Hey, who do we have there? It's another Odin. And Odin, it drops the charge. So it's stunned, sure thing. But hey, the singularity is still going down. Odin will go with it, of course it will, being pushed along the ground. But goodbye. More than 4,000 value destroyed. 6.8 thousand value. Yeah, losing one Odin in the process, no big deal. How long? Another minute. Okay. Well, in a minute time, I don't think either one of those anti-nukes is going to be up. Well, it just might. Minute is a long time. 500, so it's, yeah, there's 100 seconds at least. Even at full build power, so the Trinity will be first. And even without the Trinity, they've pushed down south. They've actually like pretty much secured the location. You do still have a bit of an issue in like Scorpion 1, Scorpion 2, Double Dante, big old level 8 commander. That's all an issue, especially because you are mostly focusing on artillery down south. But yeah, one ultimatum. Goodbye, that's Scorpion number 1 gone. Krow coming in. Scouting for the nuke, I would assume. Nuke in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Boom. Come on. Flyby. Come on. Nuke. Nuke. Perfectly in the center. No. Second rule of thirds. No. Come on. Launch it. Did the anti-nuke go down? Up? No. Circle is still green. Light green. Come on now. Why is nuke not launching? Yeah, but why is it? Okay, now the anti-nuke is up. I think you're actually just a little too late with your nuke now. Was it up then? No. Yeah, now you're too late, guys. You scout and it's up. Bruh. Too late. I was like, bruh, halfway? No, this is not halfway. Too bad. Anyways, slow units going from the south to the north, or rather from north to south to north again. And the Jack, will it be launched? Well, where the hell are you going? Okay, Shockley is going to try its best, but it's not even needed. The nuke will launch, will even drop, and it will hit, but it will hit nothing. So the nuke launches, the Shockley will try to shock, but Team West already gives up before it can land. Team East with a lot more metal throughout the game, and because of that their value was always equal or ahead of that of the enemy, even though Team West often invested more into their economy.